up, us tribe, us fam? We are back in the building. I know you guys are like, where y'all been at? You know, we have to take off for self-care when you got your folks in town and you just spending family time. So we're back. So this is your girl, Dre.
And Renee, I just want to say I'm so glad that Dre's back. I I do not like shouldering the show alone.
And she did a great job. Nay, you did a dope job. And I know you was like, can you please come back?
Pretty much, I'm just sitting up here like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, she did a great. So make sure y'all give her a shout out. She did a great job. So we're gonna take a brief pause and we'll be right back.
Hey family, it's Renee. Are you guys looking to learn firearm safety, or do you want to just get in shape with you and 9 of your friends? If so, make sure you get it from bodybyo.tactical.com. Let him and his team get you into fighting shape. Not only is it affordable, he comes to you. Again, that is bodybyo.tactical.com. Attention everybody in the Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana area. Socialite Artistry Chicago is your leader in all things makeup for men, women, and children. Their services range from face painting and henna for corporate parties to bridal and prom makeup. They offer an array of custom services tailored to your specific event needs. Owner and lead artist Allie Noble has an artist background and continues to bring that into every arena she enters. Make sure you guys give them a like on Facebook and also on Instagram at Socialite Artistry. That's at SOCHYLITE Artistry CHI. Or you can also give her a call at 773-988-2830. Make sure you guys hit them up.
All right. So we are back. So what is the topic today?
Well, first off, we're on episode 18.
Oh Lord, we on episode 18, y'all. Like man, I can't believe we made it this far.
Right? And
18.
today, we're going to be talking about the globalization of white supremacy.
Mmm. Yes, honey. Yes. So as y'all know, you've been reading the news or been on social media. It's been real in the field these past 2 weeks, and we're gonna jump right into it. So, Nay, what you want to talk about first?
Let's just talk about how white supremacy is a global system. I know a lot of times we think white supremacy is exclusively owned by the United States, but it's not. It's a global system, and white Americans just have it refined down to a science that we don't even know that they're practicing it for a large part.
Correct. And I think a lot of times because we live here in the United States, we often forget that, as Nate said, it's a globalized system that we don't pay attention to. And we think that, once again, I think we talked about this in a few podcasts ago. If someone calls you a nigger with the ER, right?
Right.
That's racism, that's white supremacy. But there's so many levels, as we talked about. There's like, let's say one-on-one classes all the way to graduate level, let's say 600, 700, level classes of white supremacy. And that's what we're going to break down today because it's getting out of control. It's getting out of control. And let's talk about the first case. Renee Bach.
That girl. Oof.
That is a whole mess. So she pretty much opened up some type of charity. She was a missionary person. I said person because we could talk about that. And she went over to Uganda and posed as this medical professional and killed over 100 Ugandan children. What?
Over 100
Fact.
Ugandan children.
Exactly. And mind you, in 2015, her quote unquote clinic got shut down. But how did it get back reopened is the of the day.
And let's just acknowledge the fact that she said out of her own mouth that she learned how to do medical procedures from YouTube.
So she was like that black boy. What was his name? Dr. Love.
Yeah.
And she went on YouTube University to learn how to do medical procedures. Then she went step back and said, "Well, I only administered IVs." Ma'am, you don't have the qualifications to do that neither.
And then, like, she's sitting up here doing surgery on children.
Yes.
And that is torture. Like, this woman has no type of training, and she's literally going into a country where these people are so colonized, whenever they see somebody white, they think it's the Messiah. So
Mhm.
you got this white woman in her white coat and a stethoscope in her house that she's like made to look like a medical office, and she's just taking advantage of these people who are in a resource deficient country.
Right. Exactly. And as Nay said, she went in a country because, they've been colonized forever, all of Africa. And they're like, oh my God, this is the goddess. And she's going to save us. She's going to save these malnutritious children. And boom. But they was like, nah, we ain't having that. So two of the Ugandan children's moms actually filed a lawsuit against her because let me see the quote I have found, which was so interesting. It says other parents have alleged that she sent children home, so she is Bach, sent children home after fattening them up without ensuring it was safe for them. What? Fatten them
Really?
up. Yeah, that's what was quoted. Like, oh, let me fatten them up, and then I'm gonna send them home back to their parents, and then pretty much the children just died in their homes after this quote unquote fattening up.
Oh my god, that is god awful. She is a demon.
And it's not just her. You have so many of these white missionaries, these white Peace Corps folks going into these third world countries, these underdeveloped countries doing this, and then they act stupid when in their backyard here in the United States, looking at the problem like I didn't know that was going on in my neighborhood because you chose not to, understand, and you can get away with certain stuff overseas.
Let's talk about the Peace Corps for a second because, see,
Mhm.
the Peace Corps is, they're a, how I want to put this, they're the precursor to big companies like oil companies and all that stuff like that because, see, wherever the Peace Corps goes, they get the people used to seeing white people.
Mhm. Right.
They get the people used to seeing white people, and they send these little fresh out of undergrad hippies there with their long hair and their, uh, I don't know what the hell they got, but anyway.
Yeah, let's talk about that further because I'm gonna give you guys a real life experience. I studied abroad in Jamaica summer 2008 while I was getting my MSW, and I remember walking the streets of St. Anne's Bay. That's like Ocho's Rios, one of my favorite places to ever, go. So we ran into these two white Peace Corps women, which was like, what y'all doing here? It was like so weird seeing like a sea of black folks and seeing these two white folks just walking the streets like they was gully,
Mm.
and they're getting, patties and cocoa bread. And so I'm like, me and my homegirls like, okay, so what y'all doing over here? And they're like, yeah, we just graduated and we're over here working for, listen to this, y'all. It was pretty much a Planned Parenthood, and it was as family planning. And these two women were saying that they were helping the Rastafari women who lives in the mountains, because they do live in the mountains in Jamaica,
Yeah.
to pretty much control the population by giving them birth control and God knows who else, right? And they was like talking about, oh my God, like they're just coming down the mountains in droves because they're running away from their Rastafari culture, and the men are just, pretty much infesting them with children. And we're just helping them to understand they can be liberal.
Wait, did she say infesting them with
Yes,
children?
yes. This white woman's exact words to me and my homegirl. And so we're just like, what? Because at the time we was over there studying their social service, policies, their agency, nonprofit agencies. And I'm like, did she really say infesting them with children like they're roaches? It's like,
Right.
roach, right? And so we was like, well, that's not the proper, appropriate term. Well, I know, I'm sorry, it was just so uncouth that she said that. And then she kind of looked at us like, oh, who's these two black chicks checking me? And so we have to like educate her, like, yo, we have these same issues or even more in the United States. And then the thing that killed me, it took me to come here in other countries, because they send them to other countries too, to realize how terrible the system is. And I'm like, they probably come from somebody's slave owning parents or lineage. And mommy and daddy, you got to make sure you quote unquote get your hands clean because you think you're doing a good deed by being a Peace Corps. And that's not the case. So make sure that y'all really investigate, Peace Corps officers. If you decide to go into it, I don't think a lot of black folks are even selected to like the next process. Um,
No, they
no,
not. They don't even take black folk. I mean, they'll take a handful, but you gotta damn near be a quadroon or a octoroon to get involved with it. But
and this is what
we're
they do when they go
yeah.
in other countries. They pretty much colonize them in other ways. So, like we talked about a few episodes, the medical apartheid. They go in
Hmm.
there and they pretty much do all type of procedures or bring the westernized thinking in ways to countries that's like, yo, I'm good. I'm living or organically. I'm living holistically. Then here you come up in here tainting the mindset of these nonprofit CEOs, and most of these people, let's keep it real, become CEOs of a nonprofit here in the States.
True.
So you have to, so it's a double-edged sword when it comes to being a peace officer, Peace Corps officer. So I just have to throw that in there.
Yeah, because like I was saying, like when wherever they go, that's when the oil companies follow, or the big companies that are going to steal resources from a land that's inhabited by dark people.
Mm-hmm.
And what do we say? They go there, they quote unquote fall in love with somebody who's native there and intermarry, and then because you're intermarried, they think, oh yeah, well such and such ain't bad. We taught them how to do the haka, so maybe them bringing their people over here won't be such a bad thing.
Right, exactly. And like they said, they intermarry so they can get the citizenship. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And so they can get the resources, and then you blink, their whole family done took over your land. Sound familiar? Okay. So, so you have to be very careful and cautious, with this whole globalization of white supremacy because it's only getting worse. And I mean, just like I said, over the week or two, I'm like, man, if white supremacy and just the world is getting worse, I don't know if y'all don't think so. I don't know where y'all live at. Maybe you part of the system because white supremacy is not just only white folks. Cause we got a lot of black folks who practice white supremacy.
Can you talk about that for a little bit?
Yes. So we're gonna talk about that. Cause oh Lord, let's take a breath. All right. So a lot of black folks, and when I'm talking about black, we can talk about non-ADOS. We can talk about ADOS folks who feel like, well, I'm down with white folks, and they will use you just because they may listen to Old Town Road,
Right.
and they like, yeah, we were the whatever y'all choice of rolling papers are. Okay, oh wow, I'm down with Becky, I'm down with Brock. But at night, they're figuring out how to study you. They're figuring out how can I use this person as a tool of white supremacy. Hence why you see so many people on this bandwagon on like Democrats or Republicans, right? How you have the Candace Owens of the world or the Yays of the world, right? Because they think, well, I got signed or I sleep with white folks. I'm down with them. But you're slowly but surely metamorphosing into a white supremacist yourself.
See, they plant that seed in your head of I don't see you as black. So that's you're starting to distance yourself away from your own blackness, and then you're just going to become this marionette doll of white supremacy.
Correct. Hence why when a lot of Africans come to United States, they don't want no parts of us. Us black Americans who've been here, who lineage, whose ancestors built this country for free 99. And once they get their degrees, once they get their house, they're never, their housing is never in the neighborhood with you. Their housing is out there in the suburbs next to Brock and them
Mm.
because they're tools of white supremacy. And then we're like, well, why they not, chilling with us at the cafeteria table? Because they're like, nah, y'all lazy, y'all are akatas, wild animals, you're this and you're that, and not knowing they're being played as well.
Right. Whew. That was a lot.
I know. It was like I had to take a breath, like, oh my God. And it's from what I heard that they during the immigration process when they come to the States, they're like pretty
Oh, they
much,
vet them.
oh
They
yeah,
tell them. They tell
they
them to
tell
stay
them.
away.
Right. It's
Stay
like if they
away
have
from
a
native
PowerPoint,
blacks.
yeah, they have a PowerPoint presentation. Like this is what Native blacks look like. This is, what they do. This is where they live at. Stay away. So just want to give y'all the real on that. Cause it happens.
Yeah, they got these PowerPoints talk about these are thugs, and you see these pictures of like Naughty by Nature circa 1987.
Not naughty by nature.
Serious though.
We're not laughing at it. I'm just laughing at Nate said naughty by nature. Like she brought it way back, and I had to laugh on that.
It's true.
That's true though. That's true. That's so true. Oh my God. Okay, we're gonna move forward. What's next on the?
I want to talk about this this racial domestic terrorist attack that well
Mm-mm,
these two of them that happened over the past week. There was one in Minnesota a couple days ago, and
mm-mm.
it was a white man driving a van, and there were black people sitting at a bus stop, and he intentionally circled the block a few times before crashing his vehicle into the bus stop where there were like six black people waiting on a bus.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about that upsets me the most is that that man wasn't even booked. He was let go.
Right. Exactly. And we're talking about the same Minnesota that killed Philandro Castile. That pretty much have black folks in one side of the town. We talk about Minneapolis at this point.
Yeah.
Um, and because I went to Minneapolis last summer, and it's an interesting, it's an interesting state. You can tell they're not used to black folks, because like when I went to Mall of America, just to go check it out. I mean, even the black people was looking at me like, what are you doing here? Did you escape from the plantation elsewhere to come here? And I mean, like the
Yeah.
looks I was getting, like, okay, you don't belong here. And all the black people live like on the north side. And we'll talk about the north side real quick. So pretty much the north side is like this little, of course, in any town, USA, lack of, grocery stores, lack of everything.
Right.
And, once you're on a different side of town, they'll definitely look at you like, yeah, you don't belong over here. And they will be quick to call the police on you. And good thing, like, I was with like some other black folks, because I was like, yo, I think they're gonna call the police on us because they're not used to seeing black folks walking the streets. To the point someone was like, y'all went where? You ain't supposed to go there. I'm like, oh no. Let me hurry up and get this retreat done because I don't want to be another victim.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That is terrible, you
Hmm.
know?
Hmm. Yeah, Minnesota's like no joke. And then too, why would you want to live there? And also, it's I think they have the most immigrants there, Somalians and Ethiopians.
Yeah, because a Ethiopian cop shot a white woman, and he sure wasn't protected by the blue badge or whatever the hell they call it.
Exactly. So just have to throw that out about Minnesota. But so the dude, he didn't get booked. They just said two fingers, have a good day.
Yeah, it was just like have a good day. See you next time.
Lord. But you know what? I know this sounds ill. I'm not surprised.
You're not surprised?
No, I'm not surprised.
Why not? I mean,
Because
I'm not either, but
because it's like it's the way that the system is, and it's gonna be in their favor. Whether you're right or wrong, whether you can't go against the grain when it comes to white folks. Like I'm not surprised that happened, and especially in the all majority white state like Minnesota, I'm not surprised at all. Because they probably be like, oh, he had mental health. I swear, didn't they say he had mental health or something?
No, that was the one who killed the little boy in Arizona.
Lord, see, look, all these stories, don't they all sound alike though? They all sound alike to the point I'm like, look how, I was just wrong about, oh, didn't they say he had mental health? But then there's somebody else that claims they got mental health. Lord.
Yeah, I just don't like that. I just don't like the fact that, oh, you're committing domestic terror, racial attacks, and oh, it's okay. You're just mentally ill. But
Right.
what about the schizophrenic person that was in the military that y'all love so much that y'all aren't giving help to?
Exactly. And you have the resources to do that.
Exactly, but this man killed a 17-year-old black kid who got off work at Subway and stopped to get a soda from Circle K.
Mm, mm, mm. Mm.
That's literally what happened. The little boy, I say little young man, he was listening to rap music in his car. He stopped to get a soda at Circle K, and the white man said that he got beat up by black people and Mexicans and Native Americans who were listening to rap music. So he got nervous and he decided to be, what's the word, proactive instead of reactive.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I'm like, really? So you just mobs of blacks, Mexicans, and Native Americans ride around listening to rap music, and just saw your little white ass and just beat you up?
Exactly. For no reason.
So that's why you stabbed a 17-year-old boy in the back and then slit his throat?
Slit his throat. Like that, anytime you hear of a crime where a knife is being involved, that's very intimate.
Yeah.
So you was so close on this child, because that's a child, and you
Yeah.
slit his throat because you have this whole fabricated lie. You fabricated the whole story.
But he's mentally ill.
Right. He's mentally ill. But what about us every day that, any and everything can trigger us? And I'm talking about us as, black folks in America,
That's true.
ADOS, Foundational Black Americans. We deal with so much ish on a daily basis, and we're just trying to keep our composure. You don't see us out here doing that.
You're right. And you're not going to see us out here doing that because black people can't afford to have mental illness.
Right. Exactly. You gotta like keep it moving. It's like, okay, yeah, you feel sad, this happened, your homie died. Oh, that's too bad. All right, you gotta keep it moving. As Nate said, we can't afford to have it. And then when we do, go seek help or whatever the case is, that's another label that we get. And
Oh, you
sometimes I look at these,
crazy.
yeah, you crazy, yeah, this and yeah, that. And then sometimes, or majority of the times, the practitioner, whether it's a psychologist, a social worker, they don't look like you. So how can they empathize with your situation? Or they can look like you and they looking at you like, well, I work at this big white conglomerate. I got my, degrees from this white conglomerate university. Why should I even listen to what you guys say? You need to pull yourself up by the bootstrap. You know how we do it. We gotta keep it moving.
I hate that phrase. You got to pull yourself up by the bootstrap. How you gonna do that? You ain't even got a pair of boots.
Thank you. Not the straps. You don't have no boots at all. So this is what we deal with on a daily basis, and we're just trying to survive. We're just trying to survive. I think about stories like, okay, for instance, the past, not this week, last week, my dad celebrated his 50th high school reunion. I was like, oh, this is so dope. He went to an all black. Him and my mom went to an all black high school, and they was like taking some of the kids out the high school and testing them to the white schools, right? Which is
Right.
across the track. And they was talking about how they got their head beaten. I know my uncle said somebody like threw a brick at his head, and they blamed my uncle and sent him off to like a military school.
They
And
blamed him for getting a brick thrown at his
yes,
head.
yeah, that he could have brain damage or whatever. Thank God he don't. And was like, oh well, you shouldn't been over here anyways. Did I ask to be pulled out of school and come over here and be a test dummy? No, I did not. So I think about stories like that, just my own parents and my, family members dealing with that and what we deal with. And you're like, yo, we can't even afford to even, let's say, quote unquote, integrate or be at the wrong place. Let's say even having a house in a different neighborhood that's not all black.
Right.
Because
Oh
you
my
gotta deal with, is my
God.
house still gonna be standing? Are they gonna, terrorize me every time I come home? So we can't even afford to deal with that's basic necessities, right? Schooling, educate, that falls under education, housing, our food. We can't even, like, we being terrorized all across the board, but you don't see us shooting up the place. I
You just
know.
really made a really good point because black people have every reason to be upset in this country. Black people have every reason to lash out against this conglomerate demagogue society that we're living in, and we don't.
Right. We don't. And let's talk about this. This is what I wanted to talk about forever. White folks, why y'all so mad because a black girl is gonna play Ariel? What in the blood clot? What?
I can go in on that a little bit. I'm a person, I enjoy comic books and sci-fi and stuff like that. And see, a lot of this stuff is set so off into the future, and or it's set off into this fantasy world that white people control, right?
Mhm.
And in their utopia, white people don't see black people.
Right.
So that upsets them. So take for example, a few years back when Star Wars started getting rebooted, when they announced that they were going to have a black stormtrooper named Finn, everybody lost their mind, okay?
Mhm. Mhm.
Everybody lost their mind until they saw the movie and they saw that Finn really wasn't about shit, you know?
Right.
Um, Finn, he was drinking out of the hog trough with the space animals. He was bucking his eyes and sticking his lips out screaming Ray. I mean, he was sacrificing himself for this white girl,
Mhm.
and that was fine. And then let's take it even more recent. Last summer, when Solo came out, the Han Solo movie,
Yep.
Lando Calrissian is a space age player, okay? But when we first met him in the original trilogy, he was a little older, and he was helping his friend Han out. It really wasn't about him, being with women. But when he was younger and he was this quote unquote good looking space dude, they had to make him bisexual.
Mm.
Okay, they can't have a straight black man banging all the white women in space because see that fucks with their heads.
Right. Right. Exactly. Man, whoa. Look how you broke that down.
Nah, I just be observing things, It's like that's how they are, because that really just messes with their heads, because they're already in sexual competition because
Mhm.
uh, white men want black women want black men,
Right.
but black men will go after white women. Okay,
Mhm.
so they got to protect their women that can give them white children, and they also got to protect their mistresses and their jump offs so they can get gutter sex, so they can finger bang you by the trash can.
Exactly. Yikes. Mm. Yikes. And these people are losing their effing mind over the Little Mermaid. Y'all don't got nothing else better to do? I know I
Why,
do.
why would they have something better to do?
Like, I do. I really have I could give y'all like 10 things I have better to do than worry about who's gonna play a Little Mermaid, honey.
And I tell you one thing, her hair better stay locked, and we better get a black prince. I don't want no interracial under the sea. No.
No. I remember I read your post and I agree to your choices. So whoever is casting for the Little Mermaid, for the prince, My first choice, John David Washington.
Oof.
Lord, we're gonna do another show. Lord have let him just oh Lord. Let him go ahead and go on.
Girl,
That
he
man right
just
there. Just let
he
him
just
be
gonna walk up looking like glistening onyx.
the Yes, honey.
Like,
Let
oof.
him. Let him be the prince. Don't get we don't need Drake. Don't get nobody like Drake.
Mm-mm,
Um
we don't need no little frail white men. No.
no, we don't need Drake or anybody. So if y'all listening, John David Washington or Michael B. Jordan, or get my other dude, my other guy, like I can't even think of his name, y'all. Chadwick Boseman. I love
Ooh.
him.
He fine, but he can't play that role.
They're like, what kind of podcast they on tonight? I can see that. I can see that. Well,
He might be able to be a background, be her brother or
yeah,
something, but like
put him in there as a brother, something child. But we gotta see
I want
the
to
melon
see
all up in there.
some fine black man, or even that little dude from How to Get Away with Murder. What's his name? Rome Flynn. Girl, yes, have him be Prince Eric. He already looked like the prince from Princess and the
Yeah,
Frog. So
him. Oh, I got one more. Then we gonna move on. What's my man's name? Lakeith Stanfield. I love him.
yeah, ooh yeah.
Get him. I love that man, and he love black women too. Yes, honey. Yes. Don't get no one that's like, oh yeah, I got this melon, and he got like a whole different international chick. Get someone who's gonna be like, I'm down with the sister through and through. That's it.
Yeah, that's what we want. We want a fine black man to be a prince to come get the little black girl from under the sea. That's what I want.
Exactly. And we gonna move on with that. But y'all need to figure out what to do with your lives because we don't got time for y'all getting an attitude because of the Little Mermaid. And we moving on from that. Okay, we have to lighten it up. What's next on the list?
We gotta talk about your girl Kamala.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's talk about Kamala and the
Whoever.
Essence Festival. Okay, because this is what I didn't appreciate, and I have a list, but this is like my top three. What is this whole the gender like black man versus black woman? I'm so over that, and she made it about black women as if I understand that's the Essence Fest, demographics. I get it, but you mean to tell me the brothers are all gonna be a race? But I forgot she's married to a white dude, right?
Yeah, she got her a zaddy.
She got her a zaddy, but what was his name? Willie Brown
Yeah.
was her sugar zaddy. Okay, bought her a BMW. He pretty much made her to what she is now.
Hmm.
You forgot that, honey, and we got the receipts. But anyways, you over here trying to pump black women up. Yeah, we gonna have a black after you done said, and she said it so ghetto too. I ain't doing nothing for black folks. The way she said it, I was like, whoa.
Right. Right. She was literally up there. She had the look of disgust on her face, like, fuck y'all niggas. Like,
Pretty much, if she could have said that, she would have said "fuck all y'all" and dropped the mic and would have walked out the building. So when we talking about being a tool for white supremacy, Kamala, whatever, is the face from it. And let's throw this in there. She is also a descendant of slave owners, and we're gonna talk about that too.
duh.
Just in case y'all didn't know, because you think she a AKA, she went to Howard. Honey, we gonna talk about that.
Do you
But
know how
yeah,
many coons and bootlicks are graduates of Howard? Howard is a old boys club, the black edition.
you better speak on it.
On, dude. Like, I met so many people that have like gone to Howard or stuff like that. They are just bouled up.
Facts. Facts. And those are the ones. And you see when she made her presidential, like I'm gonna run for president, you gonna do it at Howard. And of course they're gonna support her. Just
Right.
like majority of the HBCU grads, let's keep it honest. They're gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna support her because we gotta support our HBCU alum and not even going into a background. Like, hold on, you don't lock how many black folks up in California?
Let's talk about that for a second because, see, I know everybody talks about how black men are statistically going to jail at high rates, but Kamala Harris policies put more black women in jail than black men per capita
Right,
because
right.
she had the truancy thing, okay? So your kid not going to school, they would put the mother in jail.
Exactly. Now, what kind of mess is that? And not even going in deep, not going into depth, excuse me. Like, hey, what's going on at home? What's going on with the parent? You just locking them up and causing even further more trauma.
Exactly. But she don't care
Nah, she don't care because she got white
because see,
daddy.
the more people that she was putting in jail, the fatter her pockets got.
Yeah, exactly. Because they were saying like her house is worth like 1.4 million in San Francisco somewhere.
Hmm.
And how like pretty much the surrounding area, the average black person only makes, let's say, 37,000 or less. Where they moving to? How they gonna move to your neighborhood? Mm. So, and y'all over here caping for Kamala, and that's just bad
Talk
business.
about let's talk about Corey. I'm addicted to boys Booker. Um, did you see him on Twitter tough talking for Kamala?
Yes.
Kamala doesn't have to prove shit to you niggers. Like, shut the hell up and go mince about somewhere.
Right. And he was trying to be all ill. He must have had like went to Newark over the weekend or something and like had to get thug motivation 101 as Jeezy would say.
He did something because I don't know. That dude, he a clown,
Big time.
certified clown, and it's just like this what you want. This who you want to represent black men.
Right. And he can't represent anyone because he doesn't know the average ADOS struggle when you have two parents who, pretty much is like CEOs or executives at IBM.
I didn't know that.
Oh
Wow. Okay.
yeah, both his parents, they were big IBM executives, and they was like the first blacks holding that position. Also, too, he always lived in like the outskirts of New Jersey, like a very like richy area, and he was like the only black in his neighborhood.
Of course.
He comes from privilege. He also went to what, Stanford. He was a Rhodes Scholar. He actually played football. I can't see that, but okay. He was
He
a
was probably
football
the
player.
kicker. He was probably the kicker.
And I was like, word. And, he, became a Rhodes Scholar and all this other mess. But you talking about trying to tough talk Thug Motivation 101, but you forgot you came from a privy lifestyle, buddy.
You didn't hit him with the buddy.
Yeah, you came from a privy lifestyle, buddy, and you over here trying to get ill with somebody. You better have several seats out my face.
Now, why would he do that?
Right, because he got to, these folks think that, see, this is the thing we want y'all to understand too. We talk about a lot of things on here. And we're gonna probably have some episodes on, when it get close to voting season. They doing this stuff to get the black vote. Period. To get the black vote and be like, yeah, I'm down with y'all. I'm down with brown. I'm down with black. Just to get y'all vote. And I really don't think people gonna go for it. I think some people gonna go for it, but I think a lot of people like, nah, I see through your antics.
What is it about politicians that they think when they're coming to around black people that they gotta shuck and jive turkey they way through a conversation?
Right.
When Kamala Harris is so out of touch with black society, she said she would listen to Lemonade at a family barbecue.
Honey, I haven't listened to Lemonade, but I don't think you listen to that at the barbecue.
No, that's what you listen to when your man in trouble. When he has done something that pisses you off, you put on Lemonade and it gets better.
Right. And then it's like I think she was like, "Oh, I listen to Cardi B," and I remember back in my day, I was listening to Snoop and Tupac.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, honey, this is getting old. But let's touch on Essence Festival again. I have to go back to that. And they only did it. I don't remember any other time Essence Festival brought, presidential candidates down.
I
Maybe
want to
I don't.
say, I want to say Hillary Clinton went.
Oh Lord. Oh God. Oh God. Okay. So
Don't quote me on it. Don't
oh,
quote me
she
on it.
probably
But
did. I don't know, but because black women like Hillary Clinton too. And it's just pretty much why didn't y'all ask like why did they bring them down here? And did they even have like a mic for folks to ask questions like what is your agenda for black folks? What is your agenda period? And why no one didn't challenge Kamala or whoever that was down there? Because I just felt like y'all was just doing the wobble with her and having a good time.
because they were. You gotta understand, like, people who go to Essence Fest, they're usually the Greek scene.
Right.
Like, the whole Greek scene goes down to Essence Fest. That's what Essence Fest is catered to. So, all she had to do was go up there and do the wobble.
Oh yeah, and she's an AKA, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. You made a good point. Mm, damn, that's sad. I'm not gonna be swayed by someone doing a wobble. I'm sorry. No. Not being swayed by that. I did the wobble with my family, but they ain't running for president. So it's like, we was having a good time because it's like, hey, we have a downtime. But then I want to touch on this. Y'all forever first lady. Did y'all peep how she had her natural hair out?
I didn't peep it.
She had her natural hair out, and when have we ever seen Michelle rock her natural hair, child?
I can't recall one time. She
And folks
always had
fell out.
the church lady press.
Yeah, and folks fell out because of that. And she said, I didn't even see the speech, but people was posting it, and it was like, yeah, you need to get better friends because Baby and them ain't doing it, and y'all need to get the right dudes, and da 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 da.
Who the hell is she?
I'm like, and these folks was eating it up. I'm like, she is now this big party. I think she's $1 billion brand. She just building her brand, y'all. She is just building her brand even more.
While she going home to her borderline moist husband.
Right. Exactly. So I've been to Essence Festival one time. That's when I was in undergrad school, but that's what, as Nate said, it's just like this big, like, hey, we're gonna get it in. And I don't think that was the appropriate time to bring in presidential candidates. Then too, the black dudes can't really challenge it. They with old girl, you know, they girl, they wife, like you better not say anything bad about Kamala.
Right.
That's sis. You better not say anything about sis. Like what?
Girl, they don't care.
Wow. Yes. What else did you have to touch on Kamala? Then we can move on.
When it comes to Kamala, I just wanted to say that she didn't start identifying as black until about 2.5, 3 years ago.
True. That's true.
She always paid homage to her, what is it, Southeast Asian? Yeah, Southeast Asian roots and all that. But she never spoke a word about being black.
Right. So pay attention to that. And the receipts are out there because I think when she got elected, it says the first Indian, Jamaican, I think she just said Indian American, got elected. So go check that out.
Yeah, and when it comes to Corey, I'm addicted to boys Booker. What, every picture that you see of this man, where he is like, not in like a suit doing a speech. He's sitting around Fire Island with a bunch of gay dudes.
Child, you better say it for the people in the back.
Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying.
You right though.
Yeah, that's all he's doing is sitting up around a bunch of gay dudes, and they looking like they done just did all kind of stuff that weekend.
And I'm like, he's trying to really put on and be like, oh, I really love Rosario Dawson. Honey, you pay her some good money.
Oh, they both bisexuals. What?
He paid her a bag, honey. And she's like, yes, just don't touch me. I'm over here in the corner.
Talk about he gonna get married to her at the White House. Boy, please.
Lord, can y'all see that? Can y'all see that? Oh Lord.
I
Yes,
really
y'all.
don't understand why they trying to really emphasize how straight he is.
Yeah, they're really trying to put on for that. Like, no, you don't gotta put on. We see right through you, Cory Booker. We see you, bruh. We see you. So, what else we have left?
I think that's all we had for the day.
So, guys, that's all we have for today. Make sure that y'all are out here, do your research, man, because people will have you food out here, and protect yourself and protect your neck, because it is just too much going on out here in these streets.
Oh, you know who we didn't touch on?
What?
Mitch McConnell.
Oh, speaking of
Speaking
y'all,
of the
man,
devil, the
y'all,
devil.
man, yeah, for real, Mitch McConnell. So they done got the receipts on your boy, Mitch McConnell. And, he, of course, it's not a surprise for me neither. Is a direct lineage to slave owners in Alabama.
Talk on it.
And I
Had
think his great
14
granddaddy,
documented.
14 women.
Hmm.
So y'all know what that means. They was used as breeders. You had all type of mulatto children coming from that lineage. Also,
Hmm.
too, the great grandfather was named, and this gonna come out too, Richard Daley. Who else is Richard Daley? So Richard Daley also, and it is weird because my mom's maiden name is Daley. I'm like, you probably own some of my people.
Oh, that's crazy.
And it's an Irish lineage name. And also too, we have another Richard Daley out of Chicago, the Daleys. And I'm like, I know y'all own some slaves.
Hmm.
Yeah. And that's gonna come out. But anyways, so Mitch McConnell, yes, guys, his folks own slaves. And guess what he said? Me and Obama, we come from the same cloth. Yes, y'all forever president with the tan suit on. Um Also own slaves. His folks did. And also another thing too, Obama is a distant relative to Dick Cheney.
That's a big fact. And also, if you go back further in his lineage, he's related to George Washington.
So y'all forever president who was singing I'm so in love with you.
Well, now we're gonna bring his ass down to Charleston and sing. What was he singing? Amazing Grace or something?
Ah. And y'all just swaying. Y'all just swaying. This my forever president. And that's the secret. And that's why he was against so all it comes out, right? That's why he
Hmm.
was so against reparations, and why Mitch McConnell said what he said about, well, Obama's y'all reparations. Obama's like, I'm against it because he know that he's gonna have to come out of pocket too.
Yep.
Yes,
And Obama knew he wasn't gonna get no paper off of it because he has no ties outside of ownership to
exactly.
Native Black Americans. And what's up with all these articles about we shouldn't be claiming that we're African Americans because we're really the Native Americans?
Oh my God, we need to do a show on that. Maybe that'll be next week because I'm getting sick and tired of seeing those articles and seeing folks I know who black, who's Negro, who's niggas, saying the same thing, regurgitating.
We've been here. I met this dude. This is a true story. I met this dude, okay? And he told me that nobody in his family was ever enslaved because they were Moors.
We gotta do a show on that. I'm sorry. We have to do a show, and I believe you because I run into them all the time.
I'm like, you not serious? Oh, he's serious.
I had a dude like go in on me, and I know him personally. We went to college together, and he's all like, Dre, you shouldn't be like talking that talk on your Facebook. Look at your skin tone. You know you got native and you look at that red skin tone. What? Like, y'all, I have to be like, what did you say to me?
Are you serious?
Yeah, you shouldn't be talking that talk. You not black, you not ADOS, you not Native Black American, you are indigenous. Look at your skin tone. Cause he said, look at my skin tone, y'all.
Was he smoking? I mean,
I was like, really? Are you serious? And he's like dark skin, beautiful color. And he's like, this is not black, this is indigenous. I said, oh my God, I am going to just stop talking to you right now.
that's just because admitting that you come from slaves is painful.
It is. It's a painful thing to admit. It's very painful to admit, but we're still here, right?
Right.
Our folks, it's a miracle we still here. If you don't want to, you can go ahead and deny your lineage, but guess what? We're some dope, resilient people. Whether you want to get down with the get down, because we ain't supposed to be here. Me and Nate not supposed to be doing this podcast.
No.
We supposed to been out of here from the time our folks was kidnapped and enslaved. Let's keep it honest. So I'm thankful that we here. You don't want to admit to it. That's cool.
And that's really what it boils down to.
All right.
Because
Exactly.
if you're admitting that you come from slaves, that's terrible. Chattel slavery was awful. It wasn't indentured servitude as they're trying to push now. Chattel slavery is the only slavery where not only your physical vessel was owned, but any offspring that you produced was owned as well.
Mhm. Right. And go back to a few episodes ago, we talked about Goodbye Uncle Tom. Go check it out. You're gonna clutch your pearls. You probably gonna have to watch it in segments, but it's showing you chattel slavery.
Hmm.
It wasn't like, oh, slave. We was the only ones that had chattel slavery. We're talking about slavery in the islands was totally different compared to here in the United States. And yes, trauma is trauma, but here we face the worst trauma ever, but we're still here. As what's the guy said? Antoine Fisher. We still standing. We still here.
Right. Right.
And I have to give a shout out to everyone whose lineage is ADOS. I have to give even a bigger shout out. I know this is a side note. Like my mom, we always have our family day during 4th of July, and I had to look at my mother like, what? She was all like, so she had poured us like some libations, and my mom was like, oh, we giving thanks to the ancestors. I never heard my mother said this, and I looked at her like, who taught her this? She must have listened to our podcast, girl. And I have a video, like, and she was like calling off all like because we was on our ancestors' land, like my great grandparents really, got traumatized, and we own a piece of land, and my grandmother did have education, and we was in my uncle's house, who my mom and her brothers they own the land. It got passed down to them, and she was like calling out the names, and I'm just looking at my mother trying to hold the camera, like, who told her this? So shout out to my mama
Wow,
for
that's awesome.
giving thanks to the ancestors and to the land, and also the libations. It was grape juice, y'all. It was grape juice, but we had a good time with the libations.
Right. Ain't nothing wrong with that. She still knew what she was doing. The
I was
ancestors were
like,
thankful.
okay, what? Yeah, it was interesting. So yeah, so we still here, we're still resilient. We got to do an episode on what we just talked about, because I don't think y'all know what y'all talking about. But yeah,
These are the same people who say that the Earth is flat. So I mean,
they on the Kyrie Irving tip. Okay.
that weirdo. He a weirdo. I'm sorry.
Oh, he's another one. He said he's not black neither. He's indigenous.
Nigga, please.
We're gonna do an episode, y'all. You see the passion we got about this.
Like, I know he claims he not black, and he got this strange looking white woman fetish thing going on. I don't know.
Child, that's gonna be the next episode, because I have a thing or two. I do not like him, and I'm glad he's out the Celtics. Thank you, giving
Yeah,
thanks for that.
yeah. Take his little crazy self to where he from? Where he going?
Yes,
The where he
the
went?
Nets,
Yeah, the
the Nets.
Nets. I was
Mhm.
about to say the Mets, but
Yes. So, what's your last words of wisdom for tonight?
my last words of wisdom for the night are: don't take whatever a politician is telling you as gospel. You have to you have to find somebody that you can back, and not only just say, hey, I voted for you, you have to listen to me. No, slide them $50 towards their campaign, then they have to listen to you.
Mhm. That's true. That's so true. That's lobbying 101.
Yeah.
Lobbying 101. My final words of wisdom. Black folks, we've been here forever, especially if you are Native Black American. So don't let anyone make you feel bad about your lineage. These politicians, boy, y'all better do research, 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 or in my words, do the Googles, and just don't take stuff for face value, and stop inviting everybody to the cookout.
Is that still a thing?
Oh, I gotta show you the post, girl. It's still a thing.
Why is that still a thing?
Cause these folks, cause white supremacy.
Okay.
So stop inviting everybody to the cookout. But on that note, much love and light to you guys. We are back in the building. Make sure that you like, subscribe, you listen to the Urban Social Scientists. We are on SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play, and also Apple Podcasts. Make sure you like our Facebook page. If you have a topic in mind that you want to suggest, you can definitely, slide in the inbox and let us know. And what else, name?
Another thing, just a big shout out to Tone Deaf Radio Network, our network
Yes.
family. Like, those guys are great.
Shout out to our fam. They're really dope. Make sure you listen to all the podcasts on there. They just have like we just have a dope synergy with them. So shout out to our fam at Tone Deaf.
Right. And always keep it on a swivel.
Keep it on the swivel. So much love and light to you guys. We are out.
Later days.
Peace.